Nvidia is facing its biggest crisis in years after the US government blocked the sale of its most advanced AI chips to China. Nvidia's CEO Jensen Huang made a surprise move. He boarded a flight straight to Beijing. The reason? To stop a bleeding wound that could cost Nvidia over $5.5 billion. But this isn't just about business. This is about power. This is about control over the future of artificial intelligence. And this is about whether one CEO can walk into the lion's den and come up with a deal that could change everything. Because right now, Washington says no. Beijing says prove it. And Huang, he's caught in the middle of the world's biggest tech war. Let's break it down. Segment 1, the US-China tech conflict. The tech war between the US and China has officially gone nuclear. Under Biden, Washington banned the export of Nvidia's A100 and H100 chips, the brains behind cutting-edge AI models. So what did Nvidia do? They came up with a workaround, the H20 chip, a slightly slower, export-friendly version, made specifically to bypass those Biden-era restrictions. But now, enter Trump. Back in office and looking to outdo Biden on China policy, Trump just dropped the hammer again. On April 19th, he officially banned the sale of the H20 chip to China, calling it a national security threat hiding behind clever engineering. The message: no more loopholes, no more backdoors, no more compromise. This isn't just about stopping China from building better AI, it's about cutting them off entirely from the silicon bloodline that powers the future. And just like that, Nvidia's last legal lifeline into the Chinese market has been severed. The damage, massive. Nvidia makes up to 20% of its revenue from China. That's billions, gone overnight. Which is why CEO Jensen Huang didn't waste time. Less than 48 hours after the ban, he was on a plane to Beijing. Not for a press tour, not for a conference, for survival. Segment 2. Why Jensen Huang is in Beijing. Let's be clear, Jensen Huang didn't go to Beijing for optics. He went because Nvidia is cornered, and the clock is ticking. With the H20 chip officially banned, Nvidia stands to lose more than just revenue. It risks losing the entire Chinese market to local players like Huawei, Baidu, and the rising star, DeepSeek. So what did Huang do? He landed in Beijing and went straight into high-level talks. Behind closed doors, he sat down with Vice Premier He Lifeng, China's top economic strategist and one of Xi Jinping's most trusted lieutenants. According to Chinese state media, Huang reaffirmed Nvidia's long-term commitment to the Chinese market. Translation? He's trying to negotiate a carve-out, maybe a watered-down version of the H20, maybe a local JV partnership, maybe something new entirely. But it didn't stop there. Huang also met with executives from China's AI powerhouses, including DeepSeek's founder. Yes, the same company that shocked the world by outperforming OpenAI in late 2024. There's speculation he floated the idea of custom AI chips for Chinese clients, designed to comply with US restrictions but still powerful enough to be useful. It's a tightrope walk. Appease Beijing, stay within US law, and somehow keep Nvidia in the game. But here's the kicker. Huang isn't just negotiating with China. He's sending a signal to Washington too. A message that says, if you keep tightening the screws, you won't just hurt China. You'll cripple American tech. Segment 3. How much this will cost Nvidia? Let's talk numbers, because this isn't just a political story. It's a financial disaster in the making. After Trump's ban on Nvidia's H20 chip, the company's stock took an immediate nosedive. In just 48 hours, Nvidia lost nearly 11% of its market value. That's over $140 billion wiped out, gone. Why? Because Wall Street knows the truth. China is Nvidia's second largest market. And it's not just about revenue, it's about growth. In 2024 alone, Nvidia earned $5.5 billion from Chinese clients. That's nearly 20% of its total AI chip revenue. Now, that income stream is dead. And without that money, analysts warn that Nvidia's ability to fund future chip development, especially in a world racing toward AI supremacy, is now in serious jeopardy. Some are even asking the unthinkable, could Nvidia go bankrupt if it loses China forever? It sounds dramatic. But when your R&D budget relies on massive international sales, especially in high-demand markets like China, losing access can send a tech titan into freefall. And here's the irony. The US government created Nvidia's dominance by pouring billions into its chips during the AI boom. Now it may be the same government that breaks it. All while Chinese firms, armed with rising models like DeepSeek and alternative chip makers like Huawei, move in to fill the vacuum. Nvidia isn't just at risk, it's fighting for its life. Segment 4. China's leverage and what they want from Nvidia. Let's be real. This ban on Nvidia's H20 chip isn't just about national security. It's about fear. Fear that China is no longer playing catch-up in the tech race, but is starting to pull ahead. Think about it. TikTok already dominates the social algorithm game. Huawei built 5G networks faster than anyone imagined. And now, DeepSeek, China's answer to ChatGPT, has surpassed OpenAI on benchmarks and downloads. To Trump, this isn't just competition, it's a challenge to American dominance. And banning Nvidia's chips? That's his way of slamming the brakes on China's AI rise before it becomes unstoppable. But here's where it gets tricky. Because China isn't just taking this lying down. They know Nvidia is desperate, and they have leverage. If Beijing offers even limited access to its domestic AI market on China's terms, Huang might be forced to accept conditions that hand over more tech than ever before. Things like joint ventures with Chinese firms, R&D partnerships inside China, localization of chip design, which could slowly erode US intellectual property protections. That's the deal on the table. And it puts Nvidia and America in a brutal spot. If Huang walks away, Nvidia could crumble. If he says yes, the US risks empowering the very rivals it fears most. This is no longer just about chips. It's about choosing between two superpowers and realizing there may be no winning move left. Segment 5. Can Nvidia survive this tech war? So here's the question everyone's asking. Can Nvidia actually survive this? Right now, Nvidia is caught between two giants, a US government that's weaponizing trade, and a Chinese market that could make or break its future. Let's be honest, Nvidia isn't just any company. It's the backbone of the AI revolution, the crown jewel of Silicon Valley, and the reason the US stayed ahead in the AI arms race. But now, that advantage is slipping, because cutting China off may sound patriotic. But it also cuts Nvidia off from 1.4 billion customers, billions in revenue, and the very data it needs to stay competitive in AI. And here's the part no one wants to say out loud. If Nvidia loses too much ground in China, if it can't fund next-gen chip development, if China builds a domestic Nvidia alternative, then America doesn't just lose a company, it loses the AI war. Huang's mission in Beijing isn't just about saving sales, it's about saving Nvidia, and maybe saving American tech dominance too. Nvidia is at a crossroads, caught in a war it didn't start, punished by the country it calls home, and desperately clinging to the market it can't afford to lose. Jensen Huang's emergency trip to Beijing is more than just diplomacy. It's a last-ditch effort to keep Nvidia alive in the world's most important tech market. And the stakes? They've never been higher. Because if Nvidia falls behind, it's not just a company at risk, it's America's entire lead in the AI race. This isn't over, not even close. Trump isn't backing down, China is doubling down. And Nvidia? It's holding on for dear life. But if you want to understand how we got here, why Trump is using tariffs, tech bans, and raw economic power to reshape the world, then you need to watch our last video. China tells Trump to stop whining after 245% tariff escalation. Link in description and pinned comment. Because what started as a trade fight has become a global power shift, and Nvidia is just the beginning.